Everyone has been sold the same story. Work harder, grind longer, sleep less, sacrifice now so you can live later. The idea sounds noble. Hustle culture tells you that if you're not exhausted, you're not serious. If you're not busy every minute, you're falling behind. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. Grinding nonstop is not the same thing as building wealth. In fact, for most people, endless grinding is the exact reason they never become truly wealthy. Think about it. Trading time for money has a hard ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day. You can work overtime, pick up side gigs, and sacrifice weekends, but eventually you hit a wall. Your income becomes directly tied to your energy, your health, and your time. If you stop working, the money stops too. That's not wealth. That's a treadmill. Real wealth is built when your income stops depending entirely on your daily effort. Wealth comes from systems, not sacrifice. The richest people in the world are not the ones working the most hours. They are the ones who built things that keep working even when they're not. The first shift you need to make is mental. Stop asking, how can I work more? And start asking, how can this work without me? This single question changes everything. Instead of chasing overtime, you start chasing leverage. Leverage means using tools, money, or systems to multiply your effort. When 1 hour of work keeps paying you for years, you've stepped off the grind treadmill. One of the biggest myths is that passive income means doing nothing. That's not true. It means front-loading the work instead of spreading it forever. A rental property takes effort to buy and set up, but then it can produce income for decades. Investments take discipline and patience, but they grow while you sleep. Digital products take time to create, but they can sell thousands of times without you touching them again. Wealth isn't about avoiding work, it's about doing work once and getting paid many times. Another mindset shift is learning the difference between being busy and being valuable. Grinding often makes you busy, but systems make you valuable. If you spend years becoming highly skilled, increasing your earning power, and investing wisely, you can work fewer hours while making more money. The goal is not to fill your schedule. The goal is to increase the value of each hour you work. Saving alone won't make you wealthy either. You can cut coffee, skip vacations, and live extremely frugally, but there's a limit to how much you can save. There is no limit to how much you can earn or invest. Wealth comes from the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then what you do with that gap. Instead of letting extra money disappear into lifestyle upgrades, invest it into assets that grow. Compounding is where the magic happens. Money invested today works for you tomorrow, and then that growth creates even more growth. Over time, the snowball becomes unstoppable. The earlier you start, the less you need to grind later. Every dollar you invest is a tiny employee working for your future. Another secret to escaping the grind is designing your lifestyle intentionally. Many people chase higher income only to upgrade their lifestyle at the same speed. Bigger house, newer car, more expenses. They earn more but feel no freer. Wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about having control of your time. Freedom comes when your monthly expenses are covered by income that doesn't require your daily effort. This is why the ultimate goal isn't retirement at 65. It's financial independence as early as possible. The moment your investments can cover your living expenses, work becomes optional. You can still work if you love it, but you're no longer forced to. That's the moment grinding ends and living begins. Ironically, slowing down can actually make you richer. When you stop chasing constant busyness, you have time to learn, plan, and think strategically. You make better decisions. You invest smarter. You focus on long-term moves instead of short-term hustle. Building wealth without sacrificing your life is not about shortcuts or get-rich-quick schemes. It's about playing a different game entirely. Work smart, build systems, invest consistently, and let time do the heavy lifting. The goal isn't to escape work forever. The goal is to escape the need to trade your life for money. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't just about how much money you have. It's about how much life you get to keep. Everyone has heard the same message repeated for years: grind now, live later. Wake up early, stay up late, sacrifice your weekends, skip vacations, push harder than everyone else. Hustle culture made exhaustion look like a badge of honor. If you weren't tired, you weren't trying hard enough. If you weren't busy, you are falling behind. But what if the biggest lie about wealth is the idea that you must sacrifice your entire life to build it? For most people, the grind never actually ends. The finish line keeps moving. First it's working hard to get the job, then working harder to get the promotion, then working even harder to afford the bigger lifestyle that comes with the promotion. The cycle becomes endless, and one day you wake up realizing you've been running for years but somehow feel no closer to freedom. The uncomfortable truth is this: grinding harder does not automatically make you wealthier. It usually just makes you more dependent on your job. There's a massive difference between earning a high income and building real wealth, and many people spend their entire lives chasing the first while never achieving the second. When you grind non-stop, your income is tied directly to your time and energy. You are the engine. If you stop, the money stops. If you get sick, burned out, or laid off, everything pauses. That's not freedom. That's a fragile system disguised as success. The hardest working people in society are often not the wealthiest people. Nurses, construction workers, delivery drivers, and countless others work incredibly hard. Effort alone isn't the deciding factor. The system behind the effort is. Real wealth is built when your income stops depending entirely on your daily labor. The moment money continues flowing even when you're not actively working is the moment you start stepping out of the grind. Wealth is built through leverage, not endless effort. Leverage is one of the most important ideas most people never learn in school. It simply means using tools, money, skills, or systems to multiply your output. A person working a job can only earn for the hours they show up. A person who owns a system can earn from thousands of hours they never personally worked. That difference is life-changing. Think about someone who writes a book. They spend months creating it once. After it's published, it can sell for years. Someone creates an online course and it sells thousands of times. Someone buys shares in businesses and earns a portion of their profits forever. These are all examples of doing work once and getting paid repeatedly. That is the opposite of grinding. The biggest mental shift you can make is changing the question you ask yourself. Most people ask, how can I work more to make more money? Wealth builders ask, how can I make money without needing to work more hours? That single shift changes your decisions, your goals, and eventually your life. Another hidden trap of hustle culture is that it confuses busyness with progress. Being busy feels productive. Crossing off tasks feels satisfying. But being busy is not the same as moving toward freedom. You can be extremely busy for years and still feel stuck because your work never compounds. Every day resets to zero. Wealth building is about compounding. Compounding is when your past effort continues working in the future. It's when yesterday's work makes tomorrow easier. Investments grow. Skills become more valuable. Systems become more efficient. Over time, momentum builds and life stops feeling like a daily restart. Saving money is often presented as the main path to wealth, but saving alone has limits. You can only cut so many expenses. You can skip coffee, cancel subscriptions, and shop sales, but there is a ceiling to how much you can reduce spending. There is no ceiling to how much you can earn or invest. True wealth building focuses on expanding the gap between income and expenses and then putting that gap to work. Every dollar you keep and invest becomes a tiny worker for your future. Unlike you, that dollar never sleeps, never gets tired, and never takes a vacation. Over time, those dollars hire more dollars. This is the quiet power behind wealth. It doesn't look dramatic day to day, but over years it becomes unstoppable. One of the most powerful tools for escaping the grind is investing early and consistently. The earlier you invest, the less you need to work later. Time is more powerful than effort. Someone who invests modest amounts early can end up far wealthier than someone who starts late but tries to compensate by working non-stop. The tragedy is that many people delay investing because they believe they need to grind first and live later. They postpone the very actions that would actually free them from grinding. Lifestyle inflation is another silent enemy. As income grows, spending grows right alongside it. The nicer apartment, the newer car, the upgraded lifestyle. These upgrades feel like rewards for hard work, but they often extend the grind instead of ending it. Higher expenses mean more pressure to keep working hard. The golden handcuffs tighten quietly. Wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about needing less from your job. The goal is not luxury for the sake of appearances. The goal is freedom. Freedom to choose how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what kind of work you do. Financial independence happens when your investments generate enough income to cover your living expenses. At that point, work becomes optional. You can still work if you enjoy it, but you are no longer forced to. That moment is the real finish line most people never realize they're running toward. Ironically, slowing down often speeds up wealth building. When you stop filling every minute with work, you create space to think strategically. You learn new skills, study investing, plan long-term moves, and make better decisions. Constant busyness crowds out long-term thinking. Stillness creates clarity. This doesn't mean you stop working hard. It means you stop working endlessly without direction. Effort is still required, especially in the beginning. But the effort shifts from endless labor to intentional creation. Instead of building someone else's system forever, you start building